Well, it was great to, that's kind of how bad, I mean, not quite as bad as Marquette beat us, but, we got swept at their place, so you always like when your team responds and takes care of the home court. I thought we played a good match. I thought our fans really impacted. I mean, we had a huge crowd, and, in the third set when Marquette was getting some momentum, I thought they really got into it and helped us kind of navigate that, but, really good play. Set 2 was really clean up until the very end, and then we got lucky on some plays, but I think the one thing that stands out is I think they aced us too much, so we got to continue to protect the ball. But again, really high hitting clip, which is good to see.
Questions?
I mean, you guys said first contact was going to be, the beginning and end of how this was going to go. It seemed like you made their offense really left side headed today. How did you do that?
I would say just nailing our zones on serving. I think we spent a lot of emphasis in the past few weeks on our serves and just hitting it where they need to go with good speed, and so I think we saw that pay off tonight for sure.
I think it's probably the fullest I've seen the student section, at least for a regular season match. What's it like playing in front of that kind of atmosphere?
Yeah, I think it's fun to get those fans involved again. Students have been at some, not all, but I think it was really fun to kind of have their fans just bring a different type of energy, and so it was nice to have them there to support us for sure.
Yeah, I think it's just so much fun. Like, they bring that fun energy, and like you hear them heckling here and there. So I think that's always just like, a different type of energy that you would see from a typical crowd. So it's really fun to see like our classmates and like people that we see every day out on campus come and support us.
Was there a point today where you felt you were like in a pretty good rhythm in terms of connection and tempo and all the things that are kind of key to putting the ball down there?
Yeah, I felt pretty good. I feel like me and Kendra just kept working it, and like they were leaving me one block, so I think I just kept going back to Kendra, being like, I'm one on one. So yeah, I felt really good.
And to that point, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, first set, I think there's 5 different hitters that had at least 2 kills. I guess how important was it to get everybody involved so early in the match?
Yeah, it was amazing. Our passers were giving us money balls the entire night, and so that's what allows us to go and run our offense the way that we like to. And again, it was when we have those passes and our hitters were rocking and rolling, and so it was find whoever I wanted because I knew they could put that ball down for us.
9-0 at home. What makes it so hard for other teams to come here and play at DJ Sokol Arena against you guys?
Yeah, I think we have a comfort serving here, and so I think that impacts things. And obviously we want to take that aggressiveness on the road, and I actually think we've done that the last few weeks. But it's a tough place to play. Just every once in a while you have a team, and Marquette's done this in the past, like really lean into it and just kind of enjoy the crowd. St. John's has done that several times. There's just been teams that like it, but some teams you can tell it kind of rattles them. And that's why a big crowd today was so critical.
How do you feel about the offense today, especially compared to the firepower they have, especially with Yanni being back? It just seemed like they never really could key in on anything in particular because of the way not only Kendra was mixing things up, but the way everyone across the net was terminating.
Well, we've spent a lot of time on that. We've been hitting well, and I mean when Ellie makes the point of, hey, I have a single block. If anyone has a single block, because Marquette gives players up, but that's the way they scheme. Some teams play it just straight up and they're going to react. Marquette schemes, we're going to put 2 hands in front of Ava Martin and no assist the whole time, right? But the luxury we have is I think Kendra's like, well, whoever's one-on-one, I can get them the ball and they'll put the ball down. If they next time scheme to Ellie Bichelmeyer, that opens somebody else up, and that person needs to be the person to step up and put the ball down. So I think that's where we've gotten to, hopefully, that each, whoever gets that opportunity, and then it's their job. If they have that single block, they got to take care of it, and I think we're doing a pretty good job of that overall.
When was that identified? Because I think Kiana and Kiara had the first 4 kills today, and Nora and Ava really didn't get set early, it felt like. Did you guys identify that in match from point 1, or did you kind of go into the game plan that, hey, they're probably going to put 4 hands in front of the pins?
Yeah, they almost always do that, so I think we knew that's what they probably would do.
Yeah, it was part of it, and then worked on it the first few points, saw that it was working, and kept going.
When it got to like 20-20 in the third set, I think you went to Ellie like 3 times there almost in a row. Was it just, do you like that matchup? Do you think she had a hot hand, or why did you keep going there?
Yeah, I mean, I knew she had the hot hand. She was putting balls away. I knew no matter what, she was making points out of whatever I was giving her. And so at that point, I felt like blocking wise, they were still kind of going to that outside, kind of leaving her, and knew that she could put that ball away. So I had full faith in knowing she could put that ball where she needed to.
On any given day, it seems like you can have a player who has outstanding hitting percentages just on the ball. How important is it to have such a deep roster on this squad?
Well, it's imperative to win at the highest level, right? Because if you play a team that one kid doesn't produce, you can scheme and take other kids out. And so that's really important, and we've got to continue to do it. We need to make sure we're producing out of all 5 hitting zones, and that'll continue to be a priority.
How big of a statement win do you think this is?
You know, I think, I mean, you have to recognize, Marquette and Creighton have such great respect for each other. This is a great team. Their setter's been out for 5 matches, so, you know, they're getting their rhythm back. So I think what it does is it gives us an opportunity to fight for a Big East title. It helps us, you know, for Big East tournament seeding. There's those things, but all of that's nullified if we don't take care of things over the next 2 weeks. So this is a step to reaching some destinations that we want to go, and it helps us, you know, from an RPI standpoint, all those things that we know. But really, now we go back to the gym and we got to get better, you know. So it's about, we still have another few weeks of conference season, and we need to take more steps forward.
The blocking stats are pretty misleading in terms of touches to aces tonight. How did you feel like, especially Kendra with Kiana and Kiara getting touches, and Ellie, how do you think that factored into just, I don't know, maybe just making them a little hesitant when they go up to the swing?
Well, it was really critical, and I heard Kiana had come out at some point and said, I know I'm getting touches, but I'm not getting ace blocks. And I didn't even hear what Brian responded, but in my head, I was like, you're doing what you got to do. We'll take that ball anytime to our side if you deflect it and slow it down. So yeah, ace blocks are great. But a lot of times if you send it back to their side, they cover it and they get an opportunity to swing. I'll take that soft block any day of the week and let our offense go to work.
Defensively, what was really working in that second set and holding them to single digits?
I would say it was just that scrappy mentality. We've been working on defense a lot recently in practice, and I think we saw just continuing to get little touches. If you make a little touch and your teammate makes a little touch, we can get that ball over, and that just gives us another chance. And so I think we really dug into that, into the whole match, and specifically that second set.
I think it's also just been a huge point of emphasis, like these past few weeks. Like we went into practice wanting to work on defense, and I think that also goes into the block touches. Like we weren't getting ace blocks, but just being able to slow down the ball a little bit is really helpful for our defenders back there.
It's been about a month since you saw Marquette the last time. Do you feel like defense is probably the biggest difference between you guys, between that first meeting and this meeting?
You know, they really shut down Kiana the first time, and she's a big cog in our offense. And she had a lot more success. We were playing a different lineup at that point. You know, Bichelmeyer wasn't playing. You know, Nora wasn't playing. So we looked different. They didn't really look. I mean, they have the same players. They flip into a 6-2 a little bit more now. But I think both teams have gotten better. But yeah, I mean, I think defense was part of it. I thought our offense was way better. We just did not click offensively when we were at Marquette. We didn't pass very well, so it led to us being really predictable. And we just made too many unforced errors. So we were just cleaner tonight.